Welcome to episode 2 of the Houston Squirrel Podcast. Today's guest is Victoria from Sky High for Kids. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for being with us. How are you?
I'm great, Thomas. How are you doing today? I'm excited to be here.
I'm doing pretty well. So, you work currently with Sky High for Kids, correct?
I do. I am a development coordinator for Sky High for Kids. I am based here in Houston, Texas.
Awesome. Can you tell us what is Sky High for Kids?
So, being from Best Buddies in a nonprofit world, I'm sure you understand a little bit about Sky High for Kids and what we do in the community. But Sky High for Kids is a nonprofit organization dedicated to ending pediatric cancer. So, we can get into it later about all the different ways that we're doing that. But long story short, in a nutshell, we are funding pediatric cancer research, but also, providing comfort to families that are battling right now. And we do that through bringing the community together because it takes a village.
And does Sky High only benefit kids here in Texas, all over the U.S.? What's kind of the geography?
So our office is based here in Houston, but actually Sky High for Kids got started in 2007 in Lafayette, Louisiana. So we still support that region. Then it grew into Houston, which grew into West Texas, and San Antonio and Central Texas. And now we also provide support in Tulsa. So although our home base is Houston, we definitely service a lot of different regions and a lot of different families coming from other states. So we recognize that a lot of families were traveling from out of state to receive care either at Texas Children's here in Houston or at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. So, the impact and the support does not stop at the Texas state line. It definitely goes beyond that.
Gotcha. Can you just tell us more about the programs in general and where the funding goes?
Can I actually start with a little bit of the history? Because through the history, we'll kind of talk about how the programs have grown a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll just start, like I mentioned, we were founded in 2007. Brittany
Mhm.
Franklin is from Abbeville, Louisiana. So a fellow Cajun, I myself am also from Louisiana. And so her, origin story is she was challenged to raise some money for St. Jude at the time, ended up surpassing her fundraising goal, visited St. Jude, and that was just what changed everything. She got connected with a little boy named Bryce who was being treated at St. Jude, and unfortunately a couple months later he passed away and gained his angel wings, and she decided at that moment, I can't stop the fight here. There are more kids that are going to go through this. And so that's what really kick-started everything. So we were founded on fundraising events, and I think we pride ourselves on doing that very well. So we host a lot of fundraising events, 12 throughout the year. But we also recognize that the fundraising that we are doing to contribute to pediatric cancer research, that's investing in the future, which is extremely important. But we also really want to focus on the families like Bryce's family that are in the battle right now. So a lot of our support through our programs is really important because we're able to connect with families that are at St. Jude, that are being treated at Texas Children's, that are traveling from different states. So we do programs like adventures where we take kids on adventures just to be kids, lifetime trips to go with their families and make memories and just enjoy life, whether that's a trip that they're looking forward to their entire lives or something that we get to put together for them. So we do a little bit of everything. So the programs piece is really fun because you get to see that impact almost every single day. So
That's really cool. Do you have an example of one of those trips that someone's done through your organization?
yes, so we actually have a family. This was an adventure I got to be a part of, which I was super grateful for. We had a family coming from Oklahoma City. Little boy, his name is Miller. He was being treated at St. Jude, and he had never been to an Astros game before, so we brought him down here to Houston. He got to have the VIP treatment at NASA, the Space Center, got to tour all of that. We had a whole fun weekend for him and his family. It actually was one of his siblings' birthdays as well coming up, so we did something for them. So it's obviously focused on the cancer warrior, but it's also very family focused. And so we did a little bit for them. And then on Sunday, we got to go to the Astros game, and Miller actually got to throw out the first pitch at the Astros game.
Oh,
So we
wow.
got to go on the field, and that was really cool. He got to meet some of the players, get his baseball autograph, take some pictures with Orbit. So it was really fun. And something I remember about that was obviously connecting with the parents. And it's tough because they're the ones that are making all of this happen, traveling back and forth, state to state, city to city, and she's constantly taking pictures as parents do. And I was like, let me take the pictures, you just be present. And that was really, really awesome to be able to do, because, you know, she's going to get to have those pictures and videos now for the rest of her life. But Miller is just a great kid with really awesome spirit. So I'm really glad that we got to do that for him. And he's doing well right now. So that's good.
That's awesome. Is it pretty easy to set up those type of trips, or is it something that's pretty difficult? Kind of how is it to do that?
It definitely depends on what it is that we're trying to put together. We obviously couldn't do any of it without, you know, the support of the community, donors that, you know, are involved in every adventure. So some of them, if they're local to Houston, we have a ton of connections here in Houston, so they're pretty easy to find people that are willing and generous enough to contribute. But I mean, we are getting ready to hopefully send another cancer warrior to the Bahamas. You know, we got to figure out flights. We have to book the stay. We have to book excursions, and that takes a lot of planning. But we have a really good team at Sky High. We have our director of programs that focuses on this, and our founder and CEO, Brittany, is very active on social media. So when we, you know, have a call to action, we make it very known. And again, we have a really generous community around us that help us with that. So it kind of depends, because we've had a wide range of trips that we've sent some cancer warrior families on. But the important thing is we always get it done. If we say we're going to do it, we're going to get it done. So
That's awesome. And then I think I saw, so it's September, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Are you guys doing something special for that?
yeah, so we actually, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we actually just kicked off our first event of the fall season. So most of our team is in West Texas right now, so that's just a really fun way to kickstart September. But we also have a lot of different campaigns going on. So we have a charity of choice division where, you know, different communities or, you know, restaurants in the community, whatever it may be, want to donate back to Sky High through various different types of campaigns. So we have Danny's Market in the Heights, and, you know, a percentage of his sales at, you know, all of his pumps will contribute to Sky High. This is something that was done last year, and, you know, he generously offered to do it again this year. And then we have Star Stops all throughout Houston and Texas that are doing the same thing. And we also have a variety of restaurants that are doing roundups, like Specs, for example. So a lot of different campaigns happening, but all of that, there's a ton going on, is on our social media. We just put one big post together about all the different ways that you can give back during September.
That's awesome. I saw that post. I was so impressed. That was
Yeah.
such a long list of people who are
Oh, yeah.
involved.
Well, and charity of choice is so cool because it's something that happens year round, obviously. You know, there's people that are really wanting to give outside of just September, but it's really cool that a lot of these companies are so committed and really want to spread awareness during the month of September. So we're super excited to have a jam-packed month, and we're really hoping that that impact will be able to stretch and inspire other companies outside of September to, you know, continue that good work. So
For sure. And then, in the time you've been with Sky High, what has been the most impactful mission moment for you?
obviously Miller's was super cool to be a part of, but I think the amazing thing about Sky High is that we don't really believe in coincidences. We come across a lot of families in a lot of different ways, and so we have a lot of those God moments where we just, you know, we cross paths, and it's a no-brainer that we were meant to meet some of these families. So the overarching mission moment is that, you know, faith fulfills, you know, all of these connections that we come by. And so another one that I thought was super cool and just really speaks to the direct impact is we have one of our cancer warriors, Natalie. She is college age, and she was actually in college and had to take a leave of absence because of her treatment. She was inpatient at Texas Children's, and you know, that was mid-semester. I don't think she got, you know, refunded for, you know, what she paid to be in school at that time. And so that was a big bummer for her. She was so excited. It was her freshman year. And while she was inpatient, we had our software and tech company reach out to us and saying that they wanted to help, because we realized that Natalie's at some point hopefully going to get to go back to college, which she is now. She's starting her semester, I think. Now she's back in school,
Mhm.
and S1 actually was able to provide her a new laptop. So we got to go to Texas Children's, see her room inpatient, deliver her new laptop, and that just gave her a lot of hope for her future. You know, that someone's willing to invest in her education and be a part of that journey. And I think the cool thing about our generous donors that make things like this happen is that these donors want to be a part of these journeys. You know, some people, we will take, you know, your talent, your treasure, your time, your money, whatever you want to give to Sky High, but so many of our supporters are in it so wholeheartedly for the mission, and they want to see that impact. And so it's really cool that they get to be a part of that. And I got a picture framed for S1 to have in their office. And I mean, you would have thought I hung them in. That was the most special thing to them, because they'll always remember making a difference for Natalie. And she wants to now study molecular medicine, I believe. And so she's going to go back and hopefully find a cure for cancer. That's what we're hoping for. So,
That's the hope, I would say, for sure.
right.
And you mentioned S1 and their involvement. If someone sees this and wants to get involved in like a little way or a big way, what are all the ways they can be involved?
The sky's the limit at Sky High, honestly. I mean, we host fundraising events, so if you want to participate, if you want to sponsor, that's always an option. There's never a lack of an event for you to get involved with. Obviously, our programs, if you ever want to support an adventure, we also do Cancer Warrior Pack. So if you ever want to be a part of that process as well, and fulfilling, you know, Cancer Warrior Package wish list, which is curated to each family or each Cancer Warrior. You know, outside of that, we also always need volunteers. Like I said, it takes a village. A ton of the people that are involved with Sky High, the majority of them are volunteers, committee members, donors. We have a lot more of them than we do staff. And so our team is mighty, but, you know, we always, you know, need support in that area as well. So you can also go to our website and look at all the different ways that you can make an impact. And so all of our events are on there. Ways to sign up to be a volunteer are on there. If you want to make a donation, and we're always here to chat. If you have a new idea of how you want to support Sky High, we will never say no. And we're always open to exploring something new.
That's awesome. When's the next Houston event?
We actually have our YP Golf Tournament coming up on October 7th. So that's a Monday, and that will be at the Golf Club of Houston. So we're really excited about it. This is something that our young professionals lead the charge on. So they are super pumped. This is something we've been doing for a few years now. It's our first time at Golf Club of Houston, so we're excited about that. We've heard great things. So that's our next up and coming event. But like I mentioned earlier, we just are kicking off our fall event season. So we've got a plethora of events, not just in Houston. So if you're seeing this and you're not local, we also have events coming up in San Antonio, Tulsa, Houston. We also have a variety of types of events. So we have golf tournaments, but we also have clay shoots. We also have banquets. We also have a ladies event. So there's something for everyone at Sky High.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Wasn't the clay pigeon shoot one of the earliest fundraisers?
Yeah, so we were founded on a clay shoot. That was the original fundraiser that Brittany and her community hosted, was a clay shoot. Brittany grew up on a farm, and so she was always shooting guns, and that was just her passion. She shot sporting clays for fun. That was her hobby, and a lot of people in her community did the same. And so we've never strayed away from clay shoots. We have found people that love it as much as we do. So we will always host clay shoots. But now we've obviously expanded, because golf tournaments are a lot of fun, although I'm not a big golfer. I'll figure it out one day, hopefully. But we've got a lot of people that enjoy that too.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I feel like, walks and formal events and even the golf are so common, but
Yeah.
I think Sky High is the only one I've ever heard of that did a fundraiser around a shoot of any kind.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our donors initially were a lot of oil and gas donors. And so, we're all out in, West Texas, and, just naturally those community of people, and being founded in Lafayette, like, you just find those pockets of people that, love the same hobbies that we do. And so, we've been lucky that we've been able to keep that up, because we're so passionate about it. So yeah, it's really, really great. But I love that we also have something for everybody. Our San Antonio event's actually going to be a concert, so it'll be a concert and a clay shoot. Again, gotta hold true to the clay
Yeah,
shoot, but we will also have a concert. So that'll be fun, just because even if you don't like to shoot clays, who doesn't love live music? So
of course.
so yeah.
Um, is there anything, if someone went to the website and they read everything, is there anything they wouldn't realize about Sky High? Is there something interesting, fun, maybe people just aren't aware of initially?
We load that website up with information and we keep it very up to date. So, pretty much everything you need to know about Sky High is there. Even our Cancer Warrior spotlights. If you're someone that really wants to get into the nitty gritty of, what does this impact look like, you can see our current Cancer Warriors and their stories, which is really awesome. But I would say on there, we're very transparent about where our funding goes. We are currently in the middle of multiple pledge commitments with Texas Children's, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and Ronald McDonald House, specifically the one in Memphis that, houses families just being treated at St. Jude. But I think a huge question for a lot of people is, why should I give to Sky High and not just directly to St. Jude or Texas Children's or Ronald McDonald House or Camp Strong or any of the other organizations that we support? The thing about Sky High is we are very, very strategic and very intentional with the projects that we're supporting. So, if you were to give to St. Jude, which is still amazing, all of the funding from St. Jude, goes somewhere that's going to make an impact. But at Sky High, you get to see exactly what project you're supporting, which is really cool. So all of that is on there. We're funding the first immunotherapy center just for pediatric at Texas Children's. So you'll get to see that on there. So you're a part of something very specific, which is cool, because a lot of people, they want to know exactly where their money's going. So I think that's something to note whenever you go on the website is the money you give us, if you give us any money, it goes directly to those pledges, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I had first looked at the website, that was something I was wondering about was, oh, I'm giving to you and you're giving to St. Jude, why? But yeah, as I've followed you on social media, as I've kind of followed everything, I've seen as you're at a new wing, as you're doing new things. I mean, yeah, I think that average person who's donating to St. Jude
Right.
probably doesn't see, this is open because of me.
Right. Well, and St. Jude is a household name at this point. I think almost
Hmm.
anybody in the country knows what St. Jude does.
Hmm.
Obviously, Houston, we know, being from the South,
Hmm.
that, Houston, their med centers, it's the Mecca. And so Texas Children's is so amazing. So is St. Jude. We choose these beneficiaries because we know that they're leading the charge in the pediatric cancer world. And so when it comes to investing in the future and in research, immunotherapy is one thing, but at St. Jude, they're focusing on their advanced research center that is targeting the most aggressive forms of pediatric cancer. Because the reality is, I mean, if you go on our website, we have the statistics. There's only 4% of funding from the government that's going towards pediatric cancer. And that's just not okay. I mean, you want to invest in your children, you want to invest in the future because they are the future. And whenever you have these really aggressive forms of cancer that are so uncommon, they're not going to get the funding that they need to make an impact. And so that advanced research center is 625,000 square feet dedicated to understanding, how we can do something about these. Because we don't want these cancer warriors to feel hopeless and their families to feel like no one's in their corner. So,
That's awesome. Um, I think that's a lot of the questions I have. Do you have
yeah.
any particular thing you want to plug, an event or the social media or anything like that?
Well, follow us on social media. I mean, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and I think we're almost at 9,000 followers. So we're making a goal for ourselves by the end of September to hit 10K. But I mean, there's a lot going on all the time at Sky High. So I know everybody has their favorite influencers that they love to follow. Brittany, our founder and CEO, is a fabulous person to be following because she is constantly on the go and she is very transparent about what she's doing at all times for the most part. So she's a lot of fun to follow. But also Sky High is always doing something. So if you're ever just curious about what's going on in our world or what's coming up, it's on our Instagram. So I would just say follow us. And Again, Brittany says this all the time to our staff, to our volunteers. It doesn't matter how long or what kind of commitment you make to Sky High, we're grateful for it. So if you want to get involved in one event, that's great. If you want to get involved and be a lifer and support us, until the end of time, we also would love to see you do that. So whatever amount of time you give to Sky High, whatever it is, we treat it like a gift. So
That's amazing. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
of
Any
course,
traffic I can send to help get to that 10,000 followers will.
that's what we need. Thank you.